Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a little bit different than my regular videos. All this summer I've been really into reading books. I've read 50 books so far. Some of them I haven't finished completely, but essentially I've read 50 books. And I'm going to be going through all the books I've read and telling you what I rated them out of 5 stars and if you should read them or not. And I won't give any spoilers for books. And I'll kind of go through them quickly since there is 50 of them. I won't go into like depth about what they're about or like reading the summaries. Yeah, we've got a lot to go through, so let's just get started. I'll be putting what the book looks like right here. So I have a journal that I've been keeping track of which books I've been reading and like what I've been rating them, so I'm just going through this. The book that I started off with at the beginning of the summer that got me into reading was a Colleen Hoover book, and it's called Ugly Love. This was definitely a 5-star read for me. It is what got me into reading, and I read all of Colleen Hoover's books. Well, not all of them, but I read a lot, and I read a book a day for 30 days, so like a whole month, and this was in June. So yeah, you could say I love Colleen Hoover. I've been obsessed with all of her books. So yeah, Ugly Love was an amazing book. It's definitely 18 plus. It is a open door book. If you don't know what open door book means, then go look that up, but it was very good. Colleen Hoover's books I find really easy to read. I can finish them pretty quickly, but yeah, they're really quick, easy reads. So the second one of her book I read is It Ends With Us. This one was probably my favorite, but I feel like her books are really deep and like have a lot of depth with them, and they're not just like lovey, like summer romance, whatever. Like, they're pretty deep, but that's what I enjoy about it because it's really interesting for me to read that. So yeah, this was a 5-star read for me. And she comes out with the second book of that one in November, I think. I'm super excited to read that one. Also, the cover is beautiful. With all of her covers, usually when you finish reading the book, you like understand why that cover is the way it is, which is really interesting. The third one is Confess by Colleen Hoover. I gave this one also 5 stars. Then there was Hopeless, which also by Colleen Hoover, which is I gave it a 5 stars. I'm just gonna go through these quick. Heartbones by Colleen Hoover, 5 stars. Too Late by Colleen Hoover, 5 stars. Slammed by Colleen Hoover, 5 stars. The Slammed series was like, I think earlier on in her books that she wrote. I didn't read the whole series. This one, I think I got started on the second one, but I didn't fully get into it. I just kept wanting to like move on to the next one and like see what the next one was about, so I couldn't like stick to reading the series, but I'll probably be going back and reading those. The next one was November 9th by Colleen Hoover, and 5 stars. This one was, it's like a really popular one of hers. It was just like, I've never read a book since that's kind of like this. It only like talks about this one day a year, November 9th, every single year, so it's pretty like interesting and different, which I loved. Then there's Reminders of Him by Colleen Hoover, 5 stars. Without Merit by Colleen Hoover, 5 stars. Without Merit is kind of more intense than the other ones. There's a lot that goes into it, a lot of triggers, I feel like. So if you're not really into that, then I don't suggest reading it, but I loved it. So next was Regretting You by Colleen Hoover. And now we're out of the Colleen Hoover stage. I finally moved on to a different author, and the author I went to is Elle Kennedy. I read Good Girl Complex, which I gave a 4 stars. I think it's because I was like coming out of Colleen Hoover books. I was like had high expectations for every book I read. Then I read The Deal by Elle Kennedy. This is a series like these kids in college, and it goes through their friend group and the different points of views and like all of their romance experiences. Like they find a girl, fall in love. Oh, I forgot to say I gave The Deal 5 stars. So I only read The Deal and then The Mistake by Elle Kennedy, and The Mistake I gave 4 stars, and so after that I didn't like finish the rest of the series. I kind of just read those 2 and then stopped because they're kind of like the same idea with each book. Then I read Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score, which was a 4-star read for me. I like her stories. They're like adult romances. It's like adults like in their 30s, maybe 40s, which was different for me because all of the books by Colleen Hoover are usually like kids in their 20s, maybe teens. So yeah, that was fun for me to read. Then there was Where the Blame Lies by Mia Sheridan, and I gave that one 4 stars. This was my first mystery kind of book. There is some romance in it, but it's just like kind of like true crime, which was, I love true crime, so that was really fun for me to read. And then there was Beautiful Oblivion by Jamie McGuire, and I gave this one, I originally said 4 stars, but I changed it to 3 stars just because for me, I feel like 5 stars is like amazing, like I loved it so much. 4 stars is I would read again, it was good. 3 stars is, you know, it was good, normal, whatever, but I don't know if I'd read it again. 2 stars is not good, and 1 star is no, I'm not gonna ever read again, terrible, whatever. So yeah, I gave that 3 stars. So it was like, it was good. It's not very memorable. I don't really remember much about that book. Then there was Until Friday Night by Abby Glynes, and I gave that 5 stars. This is also a series, and I really liked the first book. I don't think I gave the other ones 5 stars, but this is a closed door book, so if you're like a teenager and you like romance, then this is a good book for you to read. Then I read Lyrics of a Small Town by Abby Glynes, and I gave that 4 stars. The next one was Losing the Field by Abby Glynes, and I gave that 4 stars. I think it's this part of the series of Until Friday Night. Then there's After the Game by Abby Glynes that I gave 3 stars, which is the 3rd book I think in that series. I think there was maybe more books, but I just didn't read after that. Then there's Where the Truth Lives by Mia Sheridan, which I gave 5 stars. That was the 2nd book of Where the Blame Lies. It's like the main girl in the first book had a child, and so that 2nd book goes into his life in the 2nd book, which was really good. And it was another like true crime. Then I read The Perfect Game by J. Sterling, which I gave 3 stars. Then I read Leo by Mia Sheridan, which I gave 4 stars. Next one is Stinger by Mia Sheridan, which I gave 3 stars. Next is The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Han, which I gave 3 stars. It was like a good read for me. I wouldn't read it again. I know that there's a show that just came out about it. I watched the show. I think I enjoyed the show more. Also, I didn't like how the first book ended, and I started the 2nd book and it was just like completely different. So I think that also like changed my thoughts on it. Thinking back, it was good, but I wouldn't read it again. The next one was Forever Never by Lucy Score, which I gave 5 stars. I really enjoyed like the 2 main characters like love for each other. They kind of grew up together, so I think I like enjoy books like that where it's like they have a past and then they come back together, which is what this book was about, so I recommend that one. Next one is Heart of Hope by Lucy Score, which I gave 3 stars. Then No More Secrets by Lucy Score, I also gave 3 stars. Then Ramsey by Mia Sheridan, which I gave 4 stars. This one was really good. It was another like knew each other when they were younger and see each other again in the future, so that's a good one. Then there's Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter, which I gave 5 stars. I really enjoyed this book. There's a YouTuber I subscribe to, Haley Pham, and this was like one of her top books that she read this year, so I had to read it, and it was definitely really good. I mean, I gave it 5 stars, which is up there with Colleen Hoover books, so to me that's great. The next one is Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren, which I gave 5 stars. Next one is Most of All You by Mia Sheridan, which I gave 4 stars. A lot of these books I don't like really remember what they're about. If I went back and like read the summary, then I would remember, but since there's so many, I don't want to like go into depth about them. I already said this, but just wanted to reiterate. The next one is The Infinity Between Us by N.S. Perkins, which I gave 3 stars. The next one is Mr. Wrong Number by Lynn Painter. So this is the same author as Better Than the Movies. I really enjoyed Better Than the Movies, so I thought I would read another one of her books, but I didn't finish Mr. Wrong Number. It was good in the beginning, but I think I just kind of got bored towards the end and I just couldn't finish it. Like I kind of predicted what would happen and I just didn't want to read after that. I gave that one 3 stars. Then the next one was There Are No Saints by Sophie Lark. I was watching YouTube videos on books to read and a girl recommended this book, but I gave it 2 stars. The only book I've ever given 2 stars. I did not like it. It was just like, I didn't like the main character boy. He just was not nice, so I did not like it at all. Next was Never Never by Colleen Hoover. I gave this 5 stars, obviously. And it's also with Taryn Fisher. It was a book I put off because whenever I would read like the summaries on the back of the book, I would think I wouldn't like it, but then I'd read it and it was amazing. So the back of this one, I didn't really like the idea. It's like a couple and one day they wake up and lose all their memories and they try to figure out like what happened to their memories and try to like figure out how to like each other or like love each other again. So I was like, I don't know. But I read it so good. Like, it's just, the summaries just don't do it justice. Like, you know what they say, don't judge a book by its cover, which, I mean, it wasn't by its cover, but the summary, don't judge a book by its summary. It's very good, so please just read every Colleen Hoover book. That's just all I have to say. Anyways, moving on. Then I read The Cheat Sheet by Sarah Adams, which I gave 3 stars. This one was a really popular one that I was hearing about a lot. I liked it, but it wasn't like amazing. Like, it was just a cute, happy, butterflies, rainbows, like cute summer read, or fall. But yeah, it was pretty quick. Next one is Dirty Letters by V. Keyland and Penelope Ward, which I gave 2 stars. Oh, I didn't know there was another book I gave 2 stars. It was another one where I didn't like one of the main characters at all. Like, I just felt like they were trying to do something with the book and with the character, and it just was not working. So I also didn't finish the book. So yeah. Anyways, next one is Twisted Love by Anna Huang, which I gave 3 stars. I don't quite remember that one. The next one is Twisted Games, which is the 2nd book in the series by Anna Huang, which I gave 3 stars, but I did not finish the book. I just have so many books that I want to read now. I have a whole TBR list of books to read, and sometimes I'll like read about a book and it sounds so good and I just want to read it now, and then I just get bored of the book I'm reading, so I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go to read this book and I'll come back to this one, but then I don't. So I think that's what this book was kind of like. And then the next one is Never Seduces Scott by Maya Banks, and I gave that one 4 stars. This is like the last book I read. I am on the 2nd book of the series. It's different than every book I've read. It's kind of like the olden days, like there's warriors and like there's like 2 different clans that are like enemies, and the king of the kingdom doesn't want them to be enemies anymore, so he makes the daughter of this clan marry the son of this clan, and basically everyone thinks that the girl of this clan is daft because she got in an accident, and ever since then she doesn't speak to anybody, but it's just because she's deaf and nobody knows that, and there's a reason why she doesn't let other people know that, which you find out in the book. But basically she marries this guy from this clan and he finds out that she's deaf and kind of goes against his own clan because they all hate her since she's part of this other clan. Anyways, I explained this one because I just read it, but it's really good and I recommend it, and I'm on the 2nd book and it's good so far. And usually I don't like books after the 2nd book, or like in the 2nd book. I don't like series, but this one I'm enjoying. I think there's a 3rd book. I can't find it anywhere, but it says it on Amazon Kindle, but I cannot find it, so I don't know. But that's it. That's all the books. We made it through. I hope you guys enjoy this kind of different video. I really have been enjoying reading books, so if you want to see some more book recommendation videos or books from a certain genre, like romance books, mystery books, let me know in the comments down below. And also, if you have any book recommendations for me, please let me know in the comments, and make sure to like and subscribe down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.